Yeah, baby.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your guy Darian. I am affectionately known here on YouTube as the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. And no, I'm not wearing a bow tie today, but that does not change the fact that I love to look good and smell amazing. On today's video, guys, I'm going to be dropping my top 10 winter niche fragrances. These are the 10 fragrances that your guy, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, is planning on wearing this upcoming winter season. If you did not get a chance to see the fragrance video that I dropped last week on my top 10 winter designer fragrances, I will make sure I link that down below because there was some good stuff on that video. I don't want you guys to miss out on that fire list. So guys, as I said before, I don't want to belabor the time. I want to go ahead and jump right into this list because I'm happy, I'm anxious to talk about these fragrances with you guys. So I'm not going to take a lot of time getting into it. So if you want to know what 10 fragrances I chose to be my top 10 winter niche fragrances, you know how we get down. Keep it locked right here. Guys, I'm back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list. suede as well. So that suede just gives it a very warm quality, very warm, kind of smoky, slightly ashy quality. And I know that may not sound that attractive, but all together it works together to produce a very unique quality fragrance that you can wear in the winter time. This is one that I recommend on this list. If you want to smell unique, I highly recommend you guys checking out this one from bond number 9. It's called Manhattan. All right, guys, and coming in at the 8th spot this year, this one comes from the house of Novelties Parfums. My guy, Big Beard Business, was the creative director on this one, and this is called Soir Exclusif. Soir Exclusif, and hopefully the camera will pick this up. Guys, look at that beautiful red bottle. Love the bottle presentation on this fragrance, and of course, as I always say, what's on the inside is even better. This fragrance has a host of notes that I just enjoy being a gourmand fragrance lover. You talk about marshmallow, you talk about coffee, you talk about tonka beans, almond. It's in this one right here. This is a sexy date night fragrance. So when I take my wife out on a date this winter, this is one of the ones that will be in high consideration for me to put on. It has great performance, but the projection doesn't scream, which is perfect. That's what these kind of scents are supposed to do. Scents like this Noir Extreme. They smell very sexy, very seductive. They smell very sexy, very seductive. They're supposed to draw the person closer to you. So it does no good. It's kind of offset the whole vibe when it's something that projects super loud. So this one again is just a little bit closer to the skin, but it's perfect. Sexy date night scent. It smells delicious. From the house of Novelties Parfums, this is called Soir Exclusif. All right, guys. Now coming in at the 7th spot this year, this fragrance comes from the house of Amouage, and this one is called Jubilation 25. This is the celebratory scent. Jubilation 25 from Amouage, and I absolutely adore this fragrance. If you've never smelled it, you are in for a treat. It definitely had that spicy Middle Eastern vibe. Of course, just like all the other fragrances from this house for the most part, maybe with the exception of Reflection Man. But it's very spicy, very rich smelling scent. If you want to smell like money, man, in the wintertime, you might want to think about looking at Jubilation 25. But guys, this has a Papanax, it has blackberry, it has some cinnamon in this as well. Again, just an absolute experience to wear this stuff. Again, this is one that I really reserve. Most New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I wear this scent. Because again, it just puts me in the name of it, Jubilation 25. The feel of it when you put it on, you smell like money, you smell like success. And that's why, again, I kind of reserve this fragrance for those occasions. But guys, it's so good. You can smell the quality through and through on this scent. And that's why, of course, it made the list. It's not as much as an everyday driver. And I took that into consideration when I composed this list and where I put these fragrances on the list. I noticed it's not something that I'm going to really wear every day. And that's the only reason that it did not make it higher on this list. But nonetheless, an awesome fragrance. Look forward to wearing this every winter from the house of Amouage Jubilation 25. All right, guys, and coming in at the 6th spot this year, we are going to the house of Xerjoff. This one is called Italica. Italica. To say that this fragrance is the most appropriate for the winter time would be an understatement. I really can't see myself, maybe with the exception of a few cool days in the fall, wearing this scent any other time. But guys, just look at that bottle. Look at that bottle. This is an absolute gorgeous fragrance. There's a velvety texture to the bottle, of course, but man, this stuff is just class personified. The only reason that this one is not higher on the list, similar in the fashion that I kind of talked about Jubilation 25, it's just the fact that, man, you can't really wear this like every day. It's not an everyday driver. It's too expensive, although that's not really the primary consideration, but it's just a very rich fragrance. It's very, very rich, very rich. You can tell that they took their time with this one. It's an expensive fragrance, but by that same token, again, you you expect this kind of quality when you're going to pay this kind of price point. And then again, it's not as accessible as some of the other fragrances on this list. But guys, just based on the scent alone, this is perfect. This one has milk, saffron, almond, maybe even some vanilla in this, I think. Oh man, it's so good. There's toffee in this. Man, this stuff is absolutely fantastic. If you love gourmands, this is one that at some point in time in your fragrance journey, you're going to have to at least put your nose on it. But again, it comes in at the 6th spot. I could rave on and on all day about how much I love this scent, but I'll stop there for the sake of the video. Coming in at the 6th spot, this is called Italica. All right, guys, we're at the halfway mark on this list today, and coming in at the 5th spot from the House of Parfums de Malle, this one is called Carlisle. Carlisle. This one is one that comes in a black bottle. Again, beautiful presentation on this as well. Just like with most fragrances on this list. But guys, again, an absolute gem of a fragrance from the House of Parfums de Malle. This one features notes of nutmeg, tonka bean. It's kind of a vanilla, patchouli. There's a kind of freshness you get in the beginning from a green apple accord. Oh man, but this stuff is just so good, guys. There's a lot of fragrances from the House of Parfums de Malle that I could have chosen for a winter list, but I went with this one this year. This is one of the ones like I can wear every day. So this can be an everyday driver. It's kind of appropriate for any occasion when it's cold outside in the winter time. And of course, I look for that. This versatility contributes to where this fragrance landed on this list. It smells great. It's versatile for the winter time. And of course, that's why it's in the 5th spot from the House of Parfums de Malle. This is Carlisle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at the 4th spot, we're going to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And yes, this is Oud Satin Mood. Oud Satin Mood. Absolutely love this stuff. Again, when it's cold outside, it's hard for me to leave this one off the list because I know that any type of special occasion and date night scenario, this is going to be in high consideration for me when it's cold outside. Just one of my absolute favorites. Rose, oud, and of course vanilla are the main players in this fragrance. And there's 2 different varieties of rose that you get in this. So rose being one of my favorite notes, the rose oud combination, one of the best to do that particular combination to me. And guys, it's just a great scent. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I like it because it just gives me that feeling when I wear it. And that's what one thing you should look for with fragrances, man. They're supposed to give you that feeling when you wear them. And I really connect with this scent. It just really speaks to who I am, and I love it. And that's why I made the list at the 4th spot from the House of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is called Oud Satin Mood. All right, guys, coming in at the 3rd spot, we're going to the House of Roja Dove. This one usually makes my winter list. This is Creation E, or it depends on where you're located in the world. It could be called Enigma. Take a look at that bottle, guys. Gorgeous bottle presentation. I haven't used a lot of this, and that's because you only need 1 spray of this, maybe 2. If you want to feel like a savage, maybe go for 3, but that's all that you need. This is probably the only bottle of this I'll ever have because I use it very sparingly. And again, it just helps that you don't have to spray a lot of this stuff. So, but if I do run out, this is one that I would pick up again. I have to have this in my collection for what it is. This is just one of those fragrances, man. As a fragrance collector, I think you have to just experience it as well. But tobacco, of course, cognac, benzoin are the main players in this scent to kind of give you that Coca-Cola vibe. But it's so much more than that, man. This is so good. So good. Again, one that usually makes my list around this time of year for great reason. Coming in at the 3rd spot, although it's not as versatile, it's still a great one to wear in the winter time. From the House of Roja Dove, this is Creation E, or Enigma. All right, guys, coming in at the number 2 spot, this fragrance comes from the House of Frederic Malle, and this one is called Musc Ravageur. Musc Ravageur. Now, this is another one that I personally, because I work in an office setting, I can even get away with wearing this in an office setting. It opens up with lavender, so there's a slightly aromatic quality that you get from this, but Definitely not one of the main players. It just kind of gives again that kind of freshness in the beginning. But guys, I can wear this pretty much in any scenario in the winter time. It really, to me, what I love about it the most is that sweet, warm Cinnabon vibe that you get from this fragrance. That comes from a combination of the use of notes like clove, you have cinnamon in this as well, and quite naturally, of course, the musk. Oh man, but this stuff is just so good. Again, the older formulations of this were a little bit more animalic, and this is a little bit more of a newer formulation. I want to say this is 2018 if I'm not mistaken, but it's a little bit more toned down. It still performs great, but you know, the clove that was a little bit overbearing for some people in the beginning, not as prominent in the newer formulations, and to me, that works better. It made me fall even more in love with this scent because it made it more wearable. And that's why, of course, it makes the #2 spot on my winter niche list this year from the house of Frederic Malle, Musc Ravageur. Guys, and the #1 spot this year on my niche winter list goes to a fragrance from the house of Kilian. And no, it's not Black Phantom this time, although it could have been. But this time I went with Apple Brandy. Apple Brandy from the house of Kilian. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I've worn it several times already. And guys, this is just one that you have to experience as well. You of course get the apple accord in this, but really what it's about, you can really evoke the imagery of brandy liquor sitting in a barrel and aging in like a cedar barrel for ages. That's the vibe it gets. It's very dry. Again, you get the apple, but it's very dry. It's slightly sweet, very resinous. But this is just some good stuff, guys. There's a little bit of a powdery nature that comes into play with this as well. But man, this is an experience to wear this stuff right here, man. And for me personally, for what I do and the occasions I wear fragrances, this of course is one that I can get a lot of use out of. And that's why it made the #1 spot for me from the house of Kilian. This is Apple Brandy. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video as I talk to you about the top 10 winter niche fragrances that I am going to be wearing this upcoming winter season. As always, I appreciate your time to this video because, of course, I know you could have been doing anything else in the world. You didn't have to take a few moments to watch this video, but you did, and I don't take that for granted. I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take the time out to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love looking good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.